Welcome back to another video from GPT Traders. This time we're looking at ApeCoin and the potential for going long. We always start with the daily time frame, and although that looks like a small move, let me focus in on this price action. We always want to go for that daily time frame because it does give us a structure to work with. Our trade won't be on the daily time frame. If you've seen a couple of videos of ours, you can see that the 4 hour is our preferred time frame of where we take our trades. But before I get into the lower time frames, just want to share some of our thinking in terms of why we think these are potential zones of interest. First and foremost, we see a pin bar forming over here. That gives us our zone immediately when a candle like this closes and a new one opens. You can see it went straight up, literally straight up. But what we're actually focused on is this equal level at the bottom. That gives it a nice structure that we can now start to focus on. And then once it went up, it came back, and now it built another area where price respected this zone. So of course that's an area of interest to us. And then if we look at the most recent price action, we can see that price hasn't breached and gone lower. Same for here. That looks like Pepe the Frog over there, but I digress. If we see this impulse candle pulls back and then goes up again, we have now got a valid structure going from left to right and left to right on the bottom. Oh my god, that's a terrible line. That's even worse. But I think you get the picture. Now let me quickly discuss some of the target zones. Again, we're seeing some pin bars here. This time it's broken all the way down. It's come back to test this zone as we were discussing, and we think that this does give us a good structure and a potential trade setup. But like I mentioned, that is on the daily time frame. We always want to refer to that higher time frame. And if we focus on to the 4 hour time frame now you can see what this actual trade is looking like. So this is a lot clearer now in the sense of our target zones, etc. Now if you look at the pin bars here, they don't look as drastic. They do look like price action is respecting this area. Now we've positioned an entry along here where we're hoping that price can consolidate and then reach our target zone there. I'm not going to chase price at the moment. It simply is not in the price that I would like to obtain it at. So just want to move that there. I hadn't entered, but it was a setup that is potentially spotted. So I'm hoping that price is going to come back lower a little bit, give us an entry, and then we can ride this wave hopefully to the top. So that's what we're looking at from an entry perspective. And if we look left, we can see that from a price action perspective, this zone was important. Again, we see the two candles that to kind of cancel each other out. You got one coming down here and then one shooting straight back up, and it is a certain repeat of this one. You see the two pin bars there, one going down, one going up straight away. So we are thinking that this is a zone of entry. This will be your upper band, this will be your lower band. An ideal entry, if I was just to kind of paint that picture, would be somewhere in the middle. So a tight stop loss there would give us a greater risk to reward. If we could get something in that zone, that would be ideal. But having said that, it looks like price is ready to kind of react in this zone. It might be worth setting an order here to catch it with a nice healthy stop loss on a 4 hour time frame with a 3-to-1 beautiful trade setup that we could potentially aim for. Now, I want to stay with this time frame and give you some other target areas that we could potentially look at. This zone looks interesting because we have seen price react around here, and if I continue dragging this to the left, we can see the same pin bars along here. So we can see that this is an area that price may get up to, and then it may come back down and then maybe potentially go up, or it could come back down and then continue going up. And if we look at our target zone, we have gone for the higher target zone here. We can see price is reacting. We've drawn in our horizontal layers there. We think that price could be reaching in that sort of area. If we did our conservative target with our horizontal ray, then our risk to reward will be no good. It's still over 1 to 1.5, but that trade probably has a stop loss that's relatively too big for a trade. If I was going to be a bit more aggressive, I would come down to an hourly time frame and potentially put in a long position with a stop loss around here and price to enter in this zone with a target around here. I think that's what I'll be looking at from a 1 hour perspective, maybe up to here. I would need to keep I would need to keep the trade pretty tight, just to give it enough room to breathe. But then if you're on a smaller time frame, that's kind of what we're looking at. For me, I wouldn't be able to manage it and having to look at the trade every hour. So the 4 hour time frame looks good to me. And if we're looking at a percentage move on this one, that's a nice healthy 11% to our optimum target. If it's on the lower band, that's a 10% move. On the lower conservative effort, it's a 6% move. If you're going to use leverage, 3 leverage or 5x, then obviously your results and profit could be amplified. But do take this trade setup as a trade idea. It's non-financial advice, just sharing our thoughts for entertainment purposes only.